Hi, this is my review of the Idolator, a new hybrid class for the Pathfinder role-playing game. This hybrid class is a combination of Cleric, Oracle, and the Summoner as presented in Pathfinder Unchained. So, as explained in the book, you will need the Pathfinder Advanced Class Guide and the Pathfinder Unchained books to use this class. I will also recommend getting the Ultimate Magic book, but you can also check out the free online system reference document as well. Now let's talk about the quality of the PDF. The quality overall is great. I only found a couple of typos, but the illustrations look awesome and they are very appropriate for the theme. You also have this very nice graphic design or layout for all of the pages. It's decorated like as if you're reading some sort of ancient document with some hieroglyphic decorations at the edges. So the entire document expresses that feel of ancient civilizations, strange powers, mystical traditions, etc. And everything is well organized, written and explained, so the quality overall is pretty good. Now let's talk about the contents. First, you have information on the books that you need to use this character class. And you have an introduction telling you about the design process. You could basically think of the Idolator, as explained this design process of the class itself, as a concept of building a god or an avatar. At times it feels a lot like it took inspiration from the golem as presented in mythology rather than just high fantasy role-playing games. So you have information on the lore and origin of the Idolator. This is a nice bit of information that you can use to introduce the Idolator into any campaign setting. Basically, in the past, the different deities, powers, and outsiders used to walk freely across the land amongst their followers. But then this terrible threat, this maddening chaos and ravenous evil known as the Unspeakable One, came and just butchered almost everyone, destroying avatars, deities, gods, etc. So this like golden age where gods interacted with mortals was lost. So the Idolator is basically a very pious, very devoted follower to a power, following the teachings of a particular deity, and he is able to reanimate a particular statue of a deity or a representation of a power upon the world. And you do not even need to belong to a specific, for example, clerical order or such. The Idolator could be anyone. It's kind of, it has a bit of like a chosen one feel to it. So you have different legends that give you some flavor and background of the type of stories that you can tell when using the Idolator character class. Now, when talking about the class itself, of the features and powers, I like how the entire theme of the Idolator is tied to each special ability, to each specialization, and this is probably one of the most flexible classes in existence concerning the Pathfinder role-playing game. So the Idolator has a next-sided die of hit dice, so it's quite somewhat sturdy. If you want to have the Idolator feel a particular frontline role within the party, it's possible, but you will have to further specialize on that. Because even though in its vanilla version, the Idolator has some useful skills like crafting, diplomacy, use magic device, spellcraft, where the Idolator truly shines is in the specialization obtained by choosing a favored ability. Because, for example, normally the Idolator is only proficient with simple weapons, the deity's favorite weapon, and light armor. But if you decide to take strength as your favorite ability, you will be able to wear heavy armor and even medium armor as well. And you will have a bonus when performing different tasks or feats with your strength. And it's also easier to qualify for different strength-based feats or martial feats. But maybe the party needs a stealthy scout type of character. You could specialize on dexterity, so you get a bonus to different skills and getting feats such as lightning reflexes, weapon finesse, but maybe your party of adventurers is going through some place where there's a lot of poison, or maybe a lot of hazards that could damage the party. Maybe you could specialize in Constitution to be a bit more hardy when confronting such obstacles. Or maybe the party needs diplomats or leaders. You could probably take the charisma as a favored ability, and then you will have an easier time navigating those types of social situations. So as you can see, the Idolator is perfect to fill that gap within the party where you feel that you are weakest. So maybe you have a party with casters and thieves. Maybe you need someone who's a bit like a frontline combatant. You should specialize in strength. Or as I was telling you, maybe you need some other type of area of expertise brought to the party. So I think the Idolator is perfect for smaller groups that need a variety of special skills for almost any situation. Now, let's talk about the idol. The idol is not just a construct. It feels a lot like a living version of a deity. It's not the deity itself, but a minor aspect. And its power is tied to the development of the Idolator. As you go up in levels of experience, the idol will become stronger as well, and it has many different features. But let's talk a bit about how the divine theme links the Idolator and the idol together. The Idolator can take mysteries like the Oracle, but the Idolator does not gain bonus spells from such mysteries because his, let's say, his strength or his special points lie in his connection with the idol. You also have revelations as well, and sacrifices that will give you different bonuses and abilities, and these are great to further flesh the theme of your Idolator, because maybe you want to flesh out that your Idolator is more like on the scholarly side of things. You could take some things like ancient knowledge, that is, you can speak and understand a number of ancient, secret, dead, or forbidden languages. Or maybe you are focused more on being like a melee-oriented Idolator, maybe fighting on the front line alongside your idol. You could take Armor Charge, so the Idolator takes no armor penalty to his speed when making a charge attack. So you have many things. You want like a monk type of Idolator, you could take Blessed Blows, and you could have Divine Dark Sight, that is to see in the dark. And then you have a Graceful Defense. When wearing no armor or light armor, the Idolator gains a bonus to its armor class. You have many things: Holy Hardiness, Fearless Seal, Lingering Presence. So it's highly customizable. This is one of the most customizable classes that I have seen. You also have greater sacrifices known as ultimate sacrifices, such as Sacrifice of the Body. The Idolator loses all racial traits and gains the subtype and base evolutions of his idol, and you get a bonus to your hit dice as well. But there's also the Sacrifice of Death. You gain the Undead subtype and many undead traits, and you have a bonus to channel resistance. Now let's talk a bit more about the idol. This idol could be portable if you wish. You could have like a statuette of your deity, and through a somewhat lengthy ritual you can summon the idol. The idol basically grows and becomes this, I guess you could say, servant, but at the same time it keeps tabs on what the Idolator is doing. So you have at the same time a servant, a guardian, but also a bit of like a watcher, trying to see, it's constantly trying to figure out if you are carrying actions and missions and going into adventures that further the particular plans of a deity or some type of outsider power. So you have all the information to create this idol in case it is destroyed or you lose it. Anything related to idol maintenance, so to speak. And all of the information concerning the idol's class level, the base attack, values, good saves, poor saves, armor bonuses, and special abilities. Because the idol has spell-like abilities that can further, as I was telling you, enhance the theme of your Idolator. You have tips on how to roleplay an Idolator, and how to roleplay an idol. I think it's a good idea to, before you start playing, to come to an agreement as to who's going to roleplay the idol, the game master or the player. I think it's better if the game master plays as the idol, that is, or role plays as the idol, because that way he could kind of like keep you in check when you are straying from the path of a particular deity. So as you can see, even though the Idolator is quite awesome, you really have to be quite disciplined when it comes to following your deity's particular plan or objective. You also have a table to generate quirks and personality traits for your idols. That's great. You have information on taboos and demands of the faith. And then you have information on how to craft the idol using special rituals. This is more than anything. This is more in theme with how your idolater came into connection with a particular deity, because maybe your idol is built from mud drawn from the bed of a sacred river. Or maybe the idol is created from scraps of cloth taken from a mummified saint. Or maybe the process of creating an idol has to do with a goblet filled with your own blood. And then you have information on favorite class bonuses. I also forgot to mention that the idol is capable of using weapons. So there are different ways of customizing your idol with gear, although it cannot wear armor. It's also handled as the eidolon for the summoner. That is, you can build any idol that you want, taking different base evolutions into account when fleshing the idol's abilities and powers. If you want to create like a statue of Cthulhu walking next to you, you could do that. So when it comes to favorite class bonuses, you have information for all the basic classes. For example, if you decide to become a dwarf idolater, you have bonus to your hit points. Or maybe if you want to be an orc idolater, you have a bonus on critical hit confirmation rolls for attacks made with unarmed strikes or natural weapons. And this bonus does not stack with critical focus. Then you have information on archetypes. You have the earthly divinity. This archetype further enhances the customization of the idolater. This is basically a way to more efficiently multi-class, as for example a barbarian, a bard, a druid, a fighter, and take some features from that particular character class, while still keeping the theme of the idolater, fighting alongside your idol. And there is a very strong connection between you and your idol. You can communicate telepathically with your idol. Perhaps you could send him on errands if it is needed by a particular mission. And when we get to talk about the magical items, you will see a very cool feature that I noticed. And then we have the Revelator Archetype. It has things such as Unveil the Truth. At first level, the Revelator can use Augury as a spell-like ability once per day. And there are many other additional features, such as Impart Revelation, sharing the benefits of one of your revelations with one willing ally. So the Revelator is perfect for a prophetic type of character. But there's also the Word Giver, and this feels a bit as if, for example, if you want to play as Moses, you can take this archetype. You carry sacred tablets around, and you use spells from those tablets. Any one spell from the cleric or oracle spell list. And you even have a congregation later on in higher experience levels. You also have a variant rule, which is moral ambiguity. Because with the idol trying to see if you are fulfilling or following the teachings of a particular deity or power, and anything related to good, evil, law, and chaos, they give you some tips on how to handle this, because some campaign settings are perhaps a bit loose when it comes to law and chaos and evil and good. So here you have excellent tips on how to handle that. Now when it comes to the magic items in this supplement, they are all in theme with the Idolator. They have to do with features of the Idolator character class. So for example, we have the Chime of Divine Summons. Now this is great. This is basically a way to summon your idol, no matter where your idol is. You use this chain and in 10 minutes the idol appears adjacent to you. So this is great, for example, if you want to send your idol away, perhaps to deliver an object, a message, or maybe you're in a dungeon and there is some sort of complicated puzzle where you need to activate some lever or push a button while you need another member of the party needs to be in some separate room. You could send your idol, and when he accomplishes the task, you can summon him to you. You also have the divine clay of mending, because you can heal your idol by using normal healing spells, but also using mending type of abilities or spells. But with the divine clay of mending, this is a very useful magical item to heal your idol without using those spells. At the end of the document, you also have an example idolater, Makaraya's Fatesworn, and an example idol, which is Thoval, Guardian of Knowledge. So you can use these characters, or rather this character and his idol, as a player character, non-player character, ally, enemy, etc. So what do I think of the Idolator hybrid class? Well, I think this class is insanely customizable, and it's perfect to fill any role in a party. So when you are starting a game and somebody picks a fighter and a paladin and a monk, and maybe they feel like, oh, we have very little when it comes to skills and knowledges and such, you can specialize your idol around that. Or maybe even though you have some pretty good frontliners, you want a bit of a backup or support in case things go wrong, you can also specialize the idolater to be more like a frontliner or a mid shield. So a very customizable class overall. I think it's going to be somewhat difficult for a beginner, for someone who has just started to play the Pathfinder role-playing game. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have been playing Pathfinder for a while, perhaps you have been playing for a few weeks, I think you should definitely consider getting the Idolator hybrid class. And if you are a game master, you can also create some very interesting non-player characters and villains with the Idolator. So if you want a character that fights alongside this representation of a divinity or outsider or some legendary hero, you should definitely get the Idolator. Well, thanks for watching my review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. See you later.